Yes, welcome. You're back. Beautiful weekend. How has your week been? My week has been splendid. Splendid. Yeah, so like clockwork, some jump rope. Um, yeah, actually, what jump rope really helps with, in my perspective, why I enjoy doing it is breath work. Because breath work is literally everything. Why? Because two things: conscious and unconscious. And the famous psychotherapist once said, Carl J. Jung, he said that until you make the unconscious conscious, then you will always blame fate. I repeat it again. Until you make the unconscious conscious, you will always blame fate. You always think your life is fate. Because there are some unconscious activities that we do that we don't even think about. And the most primal, the most basic of them is breathing. That is why meditation is like you have to meditate if you want a nice, calm mental state. Like, it is one of those things that I feel like you have to. You know, there are some things that are like options. This is the illusion of choice. You think you have a choice, but you actually do not. And if you think you have a choice and say no, then it is your loss. So, breathing, meditation, like I think everywhere, like you have to. You cannot, every spiritual, every religious guy knows, no, you have to meditate. Because the act of bringing your consciousness down to the level of a breath, that itself is very significant. Because you have to realize your mind is always churning. Your mind is always going, thoughts always coming. You do not have to do anything to think. Thoughts just pour in, come into you from the infinite intelligence, and they just wow. So there's always going to be churning in your head, stuff. So the ability to be able to stop that is huge. Is very, dude. I can't even say how big of an impact that has on one's mental, you know. So breathwork is important because if you're doing sports, physical activity, the core is, if you want to kind of keep going for longer, do not lose your breath. Because once you lose your breath, then you get tired. Then you can't focus. This is very evident in, personally, jiu-jitsu. In jiu-jitsu, once you lose your breath, once you're like, hey, my guy, you are finished. You are finished. So, breathwork is important. Meditation is important. Not only just sitting down and be like, nah. Yes, you should actually do that. But in a situation where you're just in silence, nothing, just like a monk, and also in physical activity. That is exercising is important because you have to integrate meditation and doing stuff. So breath work when like runners know, sports, jump rope. Jump rope is really fun for breath work because let's say I have my rope here and I'm jumping. I'm like, bam, I'm sorry. I clipped it. I clipped it on my hair and forgot. So I'm gonna clip it again. Come here. This is the usefulness of dreads. Someone like me who is shirtless, just clip it on the dread. Anyway, as I was saying, Like when you're jumping rope, it is personally I usually do three breaths in, three breaths out. So I'm like, so when I jump, like bam, 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 that is 1, 2, 3. Every jump is me breathing in. And every jump again is me breathing out. So 3 times. So it is like you breathe in 3 times and then you breathe out 3 times. And you try to keep that as long as you can. And the more you try to maintain it, the longer you actually go. Even running. Even running, like like each step you make is a breath. So if you're running kind of on a fast pace, you do like twice. You do breathe in, and then breathe out, breathe out. Each step, bam, 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 bam. That is kind of controlling the breath. That is how you get into the zone. That is how you are like in the flow state, if you know what I mean. Because that is what you want to achieve, the flow state. The state where everything is just everything else. And you are not separate. You're just like, bam. You're like in the you're like a monk. So that is why you should exercise again. Yeah, I'll give you so many reasons why. But yeah, so remember to meditate. Meditation is very important. Breath work is, again, mandatory. I don't think you have a choice. You as an individual, well, you have a choice. If you want to live a miserable life, if you want to have terrible mental health, if you want to just be anxious, depressed, all those nasty words, then do not meditate. I dare you, do not meditate and you will see. You will see what happens. Because me, I only talk from like personal experience. I do not know about you guys. Some people don't meditate and they're okay. But highly effective people, highly successful people, not like just material success, because you can just get material success. People who are like successful in like huge, all realms of human endeavor, family, business, health, money, everywhere. Those people, dude. It's not like you can't go and research or do this. Like, it's all in the internet. You live in an age where information is everywhere. Anything you want to know, you can know. You see? So it is a matter of trying to decipher what to know. Because you can literally know everything. Information-wise, not experience-wise. So, remember, wake up, get some, as I will.